Hello everyone. Today is day 19 of the spoken English course on SucceedEng, and we are going to talk about how to speak confidently. Now, we are here to discuss today how you can practice to improve your spoken English skills. Now, we have covered all our lessons, including the ones on grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary. It's time for us to see how we can apply all that we have learned by practicing speaking as much as we can and using other strategies that we'll discuss in this video. So let's begin. So practicing speaking is one of the most fun and rewarding parts of learning English. The great thing about learning English is that it can be such a fun experience. I'm going to discuss with you top 10 tips for improving your spoken English and having a great time while you do it. The first strategy, speak, speak, speak. Yes, that's the way to go. Whenever you can, speak English. Eliminate slowly the usage of your native language, whether it's Hindi, Punjabi, whatever. Ask your friends to fine you if you have to when they catch you speaking in your mother tongue. You will hesitate, of course, but the only way to remove that hesitation when you speak English is to go ahead and speak anyway. The more opportunities you seize to speak, the more confident you will become. Remember, speaking is a skill like learning a musical instrument or a new sport. The way you can get good is to actually do it. So you don't really have to come up with new strategies. We can think of a number of strategies for the same. You can speak before the mirror, you can speak with your friends, and as we go along this video, we'll talk more about it. Let's talk about the second strategy, which is to use technology. Here is the thing. You can do wonders with a smartphone to improve your communication. You can use the recording facility, which is available on every phone nowadays. You can check how well you spoke or how badly. You can try to improve on the areas of development based on your observations. Besides, there are several apps out there that help you learn English. Make sure that you take advantage of them. Next step, listen. Improving your spoken English is not all about speaking. It requires you to listen just as much. So go ahead and listen to news bulletins, preferably BBC News. Notice how those folks talk. What's their tone like? How they stress on words? Trust me, you can learn a lot. And why just stop with BBC News? Go ahead, watch movies, watch television programs, watch just about anything that you can in the English language. I would go to the extent of saying that listening helps even more than speaking does. When you practice speaking, you only do what you already know. But when you listen, you're learning new things about speaking. You are looking at someone who has already mastered that art, and you can let some of that greatness rub off on you. And that's a wonderful thing. I'm not talking about mimicking the other person. I'm just saying that listen to the people closely, see how they are doing it, and yes, if you have to, imitate them a little bit while speaking, but try and make the most of listening that you can. Read out aloud. Read a lot and loudly. Read magazines, read newspapers. I remember when I was learning English, I was hugely fond of reading India Today and newspaper editorials. Uh, Try it and list whatever new words you learn so that you may add them to your vocabulary. You could even find a script for your favorite TV show and act it out. So when I used to read plays, I would make one of my friends play a certain character and I would play the second character and we would act it out. It was so much fun. And it's a great way to practice pronunciation. Remember, we did some intonation exercises in our last lesson, uh, because you only need to concentrate on making sure uh, your, your English sounds great, and you don't need to worry about sentence structure or grammar. Practice with others. Make friends with people who speak in English or others who are learning to speak English, and compare notes. Talk about things that you've learned and exchange ideas. Also, associate yourself with people who want to learn English just like you. I'll just discuss a little more about this slide, because see, what happens is that if you hesitate to speak, if you talk to someone who is also uh, who is also learning English, then he will be able to connect with whatever issues you have. But I will suggest that you practice your conversation with someone who is better than you, because if you're going to talk to people who are not as good as you are, then you will not really learn much from them. So if you find someone who is good at communicating in English, go and talk to them as much as you can, and tell them that you're learning a new language, and you would appreciate it a lot if you let him talk, if he let you talk with him, or if she let you talk with her. And you'll be surprised at the improvements you make in your spoken skills. Have a debate, start a chat. That's our next strategy. This is a great technique, let me tell you. Take up topics that are trending. You don't have to break the ice. You don't have to stop and think about, hey, what to talk about. Remember, this is just practice going on. You're not there to be very logical, to be very rational. Just discuss anything that you know about. It's all about practice. Have mock chats with your friends. In this case, in this, you can ask your friend to imagine a scenario, and you can do some kind of role play. For example, you can say to your friends that you went to the zoo, and I'm going to ask you about your experience. And whenever you are conversing, um, then if you are asking questions, then ask questions about anything. So if you ask your friends, so I heard that you went to the zoo, is that right? Yes, that's right. So what all did you see in the zoo? Well, I saw the chimpanzee, I saw the monkey, I saw the tiger, I saw the lion. Okay, so who did you go with? I went with my family, but why didn't you go with your friends? And so on. So you're getting the drift. The idea is to ask as many questions as you can, and just speak a lot. And if you're answering, if you're describing things, then try to make your answers very lengthy so that you get more chance to communicate. The whole idea is to just get more talk time. Another topic could be you gate crashed a wedding last night, and how was your experience? And you can do it the same way as we discussed for the zoo cue. So just go ahead, there is nothing stopping you. You can have anything to spark off a conversation to practice English. And the third topic, of course, could be you've just come back from a world tour, talk about it. Okay, use a dictionary. Now, online dictionaries often have audio examples, so you can check your pronunciation. And there are lots of great dictionary apps that you can take everywhere with you on your smartphone. Make sure not to become too reliant on these tools, though. Have a go at saying the words first and then check afterwards to see if you were right. So with all these practice tips to choose from, which one are you going to try first? I'll suggest another one to you, which is to think in English. Now, it often results in sentences that don't sound natural in English, because the sentence structure is often different in English and your native language. Also, it takes way too much time to think and translate when you are in a conversation. So, one of the biggest secrets to speaking English fast and fluently is to learn to think directly in English. The great news is that This is a skill that you can develop with practice, and you can practice anytime, while taking the bus, while waiting in the line, while sitting at home. Just make it habit. You don't really have to translate everything. And initially, yes, you will have to practice translation, and that's why we covered our grammar module through the translation method, because we're looking at the spoken English course from a beginner's point of view. So initially, you will have to translate from your native language, but as you progress, as you become more advanced, just try to think in English. Just talk to a mirror, do anything that you can, and just stop yourself from even thinking in the native language. And the more you keep yourself within that environment of English, the better you'll get. So try thinking in English for a few minutes today to start building this habit. Okay, so yeah, we have discussed using a dictionary, so I think I'm going to skip that. Oh, oops, this has come up again. So here's the summary. Speak English whenever you can, record your voice, look for areas of improvement and work them. Use mobile apps for learning English, listen to news channels, watch movies and television programs in English, read aloud, collect new words and memorize them, find partners to practice English with, find topics of debate or topics for conversation to simply practice speaking English, keep a dictionary handy, and finally, think in English. Very important, guys, think in English. Okay, so that's all, folks, for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Uh, if you have any questions, you can ask me by commenting below. And please do connect with me on Twitter as well. I'm at All Things Ashish. Until next time, everyone. Bye bye.